I'm gonna toss it straight up and down. You ready?
What's up, my friends? Welcome back to another video. We got a good friend, Barry Theo. What's up, buddy?
Good to see you, man. It's been a long time.
BarJack, new brand.
Yes, yes.
Let's go over it, man. Tell me all about it.
All right, so
why?
Why? I know, right? the two questions I get is why and what in the hell is BarJack? And I gotta apologize to you guys. I've been on the road for a couple days, so I'm not wearing my normal uniform. You know what I mean?
You look good.
I do. I always look good. I think for a big guy, I'm big, sexy. So BarJack, literally, we were clueless with the name. You know how it is, man. When you start creating stuff, so everything's there, and then when you get to do it, it goes blank.
Yeah.
That's how it works for me, anyway.
Yeah.
So, in the rotary and in the detailing world, when you look at machines, I felt personally that a lot of machines are made a little cheaper. Okay. Not cheap as in price, but there were certain things I didn't like about them,
sure.
You know? And I go back, you know, a long time with you. You know, it's been 25, 30 years almost in this industry. And when I used to pick up a tool, it felt like, it wasn't like, you could give it to a lumberjack. And this guy's a big dude I envisioned, literally chopping trees down.
Yeah.
You know, he's gonna use that tool for 20 years. Dude works hard, he invests money, and if he buys something, he wants it to work for a while, you know?
Like the old Milwaukee's. I mean, just like a sledgehammer.
Yeah, you know, like a DeWalt, the Milwaukee's back then. So the name BarJack literally came from lumberjack.
Okay.
And then I just added the bar like Barry, but that's not where it came from realistically, but it had that feeling to me that it's quality, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So BarJack really means absolutely nothing other than the fact that we just wanted to put out a quality tool and affordable pricing. That was very important to me as well.
I can see the correlation now. Now it means more because I was wondering about BarJack, and it felt like it almost was like a cleaner or something. Like it rings a bell when you hear the name BarJack.
Yeah, but that's what it was. I pictured a big burly guy like me out chopping wood, even though I'm getting tired after the first 3, chops. But I wanted a tool that would, it's just going to sit in the shed. It's going to get used. It's going to get abused. You know, you're going to drop these things eventually. Something's going to happen.
Right.
We wanted to prevent that. And it's funny because I did a video about 2 weeks ago where I stood on a chair, a thing, and I had that thing about 12 feet in the air, the 15 millimeter, and I just dropped it. Literally just dropped it. It was on, I turned it off, dropped it, fell, picked it back up, and turned it back on. Nothing broke.
Okay.
And I was nervous when I did the video because I didn't know, It was one of those, well, we're either gonna not do the video or not. But I ended up doing it live on Facebook.
Oh, wow.
So, I had comments and this and that, and it was no big deal. But at the end of the day, I wanted to show you can drop this thing. For me, I'm almost 5'10". My arm length is probably another 2.5 feet, maybe 1.5 feet. And I'm on a 3-foot pedestal, so about what, 10 feet roughly?
Yeah.
If you can drop it from 10 feet, you can drop it from a foot.
Wow.
And it kept going. And I did it all live, and I was praying that nothing broke when I did it. So anyway, so we came out, and I thought about it, like, what else do I want with the machine? Mm-hmm. So when you buy the machine, you get all the appropriate pads, and then there's one more, a microfiber that comes with the DAs.
I used it.
Yeah, did you like it?
I did, I really liked it.
Yeah, it's a pretty good pad.
Yeah.
Nothing, again, we didn't reinvent the wheel here, It was all about just putting out a quality product, and that's it.
Let's see what it comes with. All right, so you got the machine. Oh, you got an extra set of brushes in there. If you need to change them, that's always nice. What's in here? This packet. Oh, it comes with pads. Looks like the machine comes with a couple different pads. More pads? Yeah. Huh. Well, let's try those pads out then. Okay, cool. Comes with a set of 4 pads. That's nice. Let's whip this pad on. I want to see what this is. This is a thicker, very plush microfiber pad. Let's see how it does.
So we started with 3 machines, and the BarJack brand will be strictly tools and accessories, no compounds, no polishes, none of that stuff. We don't care about that.
Okay.
We want to be the tools and the accessory side.
Okay.
If that makes sense. You're going to see a lot of things, hand brushes, little brushes. We got
more to come.
A lot more to come.
Nice.
A lot. This is just the beginning of a very small iceberg, if that could say.
Nice. All right. Well, this is an overview of you, BarJack, and some of these tools that you got right now.
Correct.
I mean, so like, how is the machine made? What did you do to like get to this point? Like, give us some of the background history, because I know you're talking about different parts of this that you kind of wanted to design for what you liked.
Correct. So the one thing I really wanted was, at the end of the day, if something happened to the brushes, you can change the brushes out. Okay, a lot of machines now are coming where you can't change the brushes.
Right.
You have to send them in for repair. It takes 2 minutes and a little bit of common sense, and it's done, you know?
Yeah.
So you can change the brushes on each side. The next thing I noticed was there's a lot of people in this industry that are left-handed, and I really wanted to cater to them. Even though I'm right-handed, there's them few that we got to cater to. So if you look at the trigger, it's an ambidextrous trigger. So you have, if you're here on this side, right-handed holding it,
Yeah.
or if you're left-handed holding it,
Okay.
it's all right there.
I do really enjoy that click.
It's got a locking button and a normal. Again, not reinventing the wheel. Another big thing here too is the cord is actually on a ball joint.
I did notice that. That's really nice.
That way, if you're one of the guys that put it up over, or if it hangs down, but it's always in the way if it's just straight.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That is a cool feature. I like that.
And you'll also notice the cord's flexible. It's not like the harder, cheaper plastic.
Yep.
And then it's just a standard 10-foot cord. A lot of people said, hey, why can't you put a 20-foot cord on there? The reason being is the longer the cord, you lose amperage.
Okay.
And the machine will die out a little quicker. You know, it's kind of like a battery operated tool where it has its full juice at 100%, but when you get down to 50, it's not full juice anymore. We all know that.
Yeah.
So here, without the longer cord being built in, we're not losing amperage.
Does that have any effect when you use an extension cord?
No, because most extension cords are a thicker
Okay.
gauge than this.
Cool.
So it actually really works. Now, when I looked at the unit itself, it's got characteristics.
It's a nice unit.
Thank you, thank you. When I look at some of the things, it was a lot of what I liked. And if you look on the market, this is not, and that's one of the biggest questions we get. Oh, you rebranded a machine. No. And I know for a fact because the mold of this machine had a very expensive cost. Same with the 21 and the 15.
So you made these molds.
Yeah, these molds are our molds. We own these molds, which is great, you know, because the manufacturer owns a part of the brand. Mm-hmm. I'm not here to hide nothing nor, you know, not disclose anything, because people in this industry know us. No reason to come out and say, yeah, this is built in America. No, this was built in China. I'm not afraid to admit that, but
they're very good at manufacturing.
they are. They're very good at manufacturing, but here's the thing. When you look at the cultural differences,
Yeah.
okay, I've learned a lot about China, and I've learned, and obviously being an American. In America, we want tools that are built to last. Mm-hmm. In China, they would rather buy cheaper tools and throw them away, okay, because they don't think they last as long. So when I really began to work with all the manufacturing on our end, which we are the manufacturer of the tool, I had to explain to them the cultural differences, and they listened, which was really huge. So they said, okay, well, we can build if that's what you want, but it's gonna be a little more expensive. And I said, I'm okay with that. I want it to be a little more expensive. If the cost is there and we can provide a quality tool, somebody's gonna pay for it. And you know what? We came in at a reasonable price. Like the 15 and the 21 are 360, 340. Mm-hmm. And this is, I believe off the top of my head, about 220.
Yeah.
I forget the actual price because I have so many products in my head. You know how that goes.
I do.
But it's about 220 for this unit, which is a well-built unit for 220. You get the pads, and obviously the backing plate. The side handle comes with it if you want to put it in there. But the grip itself, I found that most machines these days, if you're a guy, you have bigger hands generally. And I've had women hold this machine and they felt it was good too. So you feel like you're grabbing something, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's not like a small thin shaft. It's there, it's built.
And it's soft rubber on top.
Yeah.
And then part of the body is the hard plastic.
Yep, the switch, the trigger is nice. It's just complementary black and white. This center mold, was built because of the trigger here, the way we put the trigger on top, so when you turn it, it sits.
I like that.
See what I mean?
Yeah.
So we had that offset there. And then the head we kept pretty simple. We do have replacement heads. They'll be in stock shortly, which is really nice. In case you do drop it and it breaks, we can do it. But one of the things I really went after was the warranty with this one.
Okay.
We call it the Common Sense warranty. It's actually being built right now, being finalized with all the legal work. But basically with the Common Sense warranty, if something goes wrong internally, you send it back to us, we're gonna fix it for free. All you gotta do is get the machine to us. So if you have a dial that goes bad, a trigger, a switch, something in a motor, and it was actual machine failure, not like where you tossed it across the room and it broke, that's different. So if that were happen where you're up working and you drop the machine and something breaks, we're not gonna pull this machine apart and attempt to fix it and give you another refurbished unit. And then 3 months from now, something's gonna go wrong and you're gonna have to send it back to us again. We simply said, you know what, for $125, you're just gonna get a new machine sent to you.
Okay.
A brand new machine. You won't get all the pads and everything, but you already bought that. We're just gonna send you a new unit for $125.
Okay.
Simple enough out the door for 1 year.
Okay.
So in 364 days, if you drop this and something goes wrong, you send it back to us. As long as you can show a copy of a receipt, we're gonna send you a new one for $125.
Seems fair enough.
And if we have an upgraded one,
I'm just gonna smash it on the ground at 360. Like, hey,
So
I need a new one.
This is where we don't listen to Jason. I'm gonna say that once in my life.
You're like, this tool's been great and it works just fine, but why not get a new one for $125?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. We're hoping people don't beat us up on that. But again, I feel because, like you, we were detailers. We started from the ground up. I mean, I remember when you first got started. You remember probably when I first came in, back in like 05 or something like that. And I have a soft spot in my heart for detailers, just like you do. I know you do. I see it all the time. So the goal was not to break your bank. The goal was to give you a quality product and something that, you know, as a company, we feel good selling it to you.
Yeah.
And so far, we released in March, early April. It's now April, May. Yeah, we're in the first month. We have over 200 units sold.
Nice.
Already. The pads are completely sold out, which they'll be here in about 2 weeks. A big load's coming in about 2 weeks, which would be really nice. I wasn't expecting the demand. I really wasn't. The demand has been huge. And where it's been really crazy is from distributors.
Yeah.
You know,
that's
distributors
awesome.
have been reaching out, some I turned down.
You hit on something that I kind of want to dive into a little bit, because there are lots of other machines on the market.
A ton.
And here's my theory or thoughts. Like, everybody is in a different place when they start. I mean, I explained it on the video because I did test this with some other machines. I explained it, I'm, in my 40s now, I'm older, and I for myself, I'd rather pay a little more to have something that's a little more comfortable because my hands hurt.
So I am particular about the machines that I use. Only reason is because now that I'm older, I've realized that using crappy machines with a lot of vibration really hurts you in the later years with your joints, your wrist, your fingers, your wrist, and all that stuff. So I like a chair. I don't like getting down on my knees anymore. You can see I have my cart here. I just like to make things as easy as possible for myself, because you only get one body and you have to take care of it.
Yeah.
My shoulders hurt, my back hurts, everything. I want to sit on a chair and make myself, but when I was in my 20s, I was on my knees,
I get it,
I was
man.
at a different place in my life to where I'm like, I just need something affordable, but you may not have the luxury all the time. So
Correct.
there are different segments, different markets, and different customers throughout the entire path of buying machines and other stuff too. So there's just lots of people out there.
I do believe that there is value in getting something that is 80% of what the top tier product is at a 50% whatever price reduction. There's value to that, right? There is. We're consumers, we all know that. A lot of times we'll buy the generic brand or something that is a little less expensive, knowing that the quality is not going to be 100% of the product that we would buy if we paid a lot more.
And there's also a lot of different machines, but there's a machine for everybody. And just because there's people already making it and have other machines out there doesn't mean you know, somebody else shouldn't have the opportunity to be able to build a brand and be able to share that value with other people.
Correct.
So there's lots of space
Tons of
out
space.
there.
Tons. Like, you know, I walk in here as another brand owner, seeing you got other brands here, and you know what? I don't care. I love it, man. We're all growing. And that, to me, what it's about. And one of the things I want to ask you, because you didn't tell me yet, I know you used the 15 millimeter.
Yeah.
What did you think about how smooth it was?
It works. There is a little vibration there.
It was smooth. I mean, it had a little more vibration than some of the other machines that I use.
But it was, in general, for what you're getting. I mean,
It worked very well.
Yeah.
Ever so slightly, a little more vibration, but honestly, it's not bad. I've used machines that were way worse, so not bad. I really like it.
It worked very well.
And it, you know, if you have it on a microfiber, all microfibers will do it, but on foam, it's really smooth.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and that was one thing we tried to really put in there, and that and the sound. I wanted to keep the sound down because, I mean, I'm getting older. Obviously, I've used the machines for a while. I'm at the point now where my hands, I feel it. You know, I'm sure you do as well. You know, there's mornings I wake up and I'm like, ooh, man,
Sure.
let's get the blood flow in here. That's from using these all my life.
Yeah.
You know, so we really tried to think of a little bit of everything and say, here's a quality tool. Hopefully you'll like it.
Yeah.
You know?
No, the outside casing, you can tell, I mean, when you pick it up, it is a little heavier than the machine I was testing it against, but there are certain scenarios where you want a heavier machine or you want that, and there's
Correct.
quality that comes with a little bit of the parts and everything.
Yeah, too. And if you also, the reason there's a little bit more of a heavier is we got a really good balance on these machines. Now I'm gonna try to open this up on camera and look like an idiot. All right, there we go, we got it. But there's actually a weight at the top of a counterbalance. The one thing we try to tell people, make sure you tighten this, because at the factory level,
Okay.
it's put on, but it's not tight. So
Oh.
at first it may wobble a little bit, if that
Didn't
makes
even notice
sense.
that.
And then here's the actual tool itself. And an interesting, when you look at the DAs too, you'll notice there's a nice little gap here.
I did notice that.
So it spins.
It doesn't have like the rubber shrouding
Correct.
that's hitting the back.
And when you push down, it's not hitting nowhere.
Yeah.
Another thing, if you look, well, from our view, you'll see you got the normal holes on the inside for air to come through.
Right.
And then there's a group on the outer side, if you guys can see that.
Yep.
What I was showing to Jason was inside of the holes, obviously we do that to keep the dirt and dust flying through,
Yeah.
but on the outside, you'll see some holes, but they're not actually holes. It stops.
They don't go all the way through, yeah.
Yeah, but if you look at the side of the backing plate, air, well, as it spins this way, comes up through.
Okay.
So it'll help keep that whole outer ring of the pad a little bit cooler.
Yeah.
Now, does it help? A little bit,
Yeah.
but in general, we hope it should make a little difference.
I'm notorious for burning pads because I usually throw it on as fast as it can go and just,
Go.
I'm gonna go as fast as I can.
Yeah,
Until it starts smoking.
I'm the same way. I'm the same way. And then the other thing underneath here is when you're using this machine, most people are about like 7 to 15 pounds of pressure down is what they say,
Yeah.
technically. So you got a machine you're pushing. With the BarJack, we actually put a counterweight in here. So when you use this machine, you could actually pull up a little bit, almost like a rotary. Mm-hmm. And what will happen is all the weight will be here, so it should have a good even balance, but you're not killing yourself this way. Mm-hmm. It just glides.
Yeah. My favorite part about it was the click of the dial changer.
Ooh, I like that. You hear the click? That dial's really nice.
So the speed, the RPM dial here, it clicks.
Yes.
I don't
and
know why, that it's just so satisfying to hear an actual click and then you could feel it go into place.
And the other nice thing too is usually on some machines out there, I've noticed where like speed 4 to 6 is generally the same thing.
Yeah.
And there's no click, it just kind of goes. Every one of these has its own speed. So when you click it, it actually goes up a little bit more, a little bit more, and a little bit more. But I'm the type of guy, I'm just like you, I'm gonna put a pad on this,
Yeah.
get it primed. It's going up to 6 and it's not coming off 6.
Yeah.
You know?
So manufacturing some machines like this, like what kind of research did you have to go through to like look at this? What did you learn a lot of different things that you didn't know before about machines?
I knew a lot about machines, but I learned what they can and can't do, if
Yeah.
that makes sense. Like we all think, hey, you know, let's put the oomph in a DA so it spins and it doesn't stall on a panel. That's hard to do because realistically now you're getting into killing pads and destroying pads all the time. So there's a fine line there. I also learned that molds are very expensive. So yeah, so interesting story. I literally, this was built from ground up from things that I've liked over the years.
Okay.
Literally, I would send them pictures of this handle and say, hey, I really like the handle in this unit, this and this. Well, they came back and said, hey, you're looking at $20,000 just for a mold fee. And straight shooting, this is not my money. I'm a representative of the factory, even though I do have ownership in the brand. I'm more of like a guidance, like that cultural division, bringing them together. Well, anyway, so they came back and said 20 grand for a mold fee. And I said, well, I'm playing with their money, let's do it. You know what I mean? So that worked. But yeah, and that's why you see a lot of units on the market where they basically, it's just rebranded. I hate to say that, but that's the truth.
Yeah.
I've had a couple rebranded machines, they work. But from this, the entire build, the whole way up, was all thought of, all put together, and I think we did a great job, man. I really do. There were some things that the manufacturer came back and they said, Barry, think about this. Do you really want to do this? Like, I'm a 21 guy. I love 21s.
Yeah.
Ideally, a 15 millimeter is the #1 selling tool right now.
It's my choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And do you know what? It's slowly becoming my choice too.
Yeah.
I like the 5-inch.
Fits in a lot. I mean, look at this.
Yeah.
All these cars are ending up like this.
This.
And this 5-inch fits in there really good. A lot, you get like this. I can still do the 5-inch over here.
Yep.
I don't know.
So yeah, I really like. Plus, I think a 15 is always a little smoother than a 21 for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe it's just in my head, and that's what I'm imagining. But overall, we got a great tool, a great warranty, great pad system, and we're not stopping.
Yeah.
This is,
Okay, what's coming out next, too? What's on the docket? Can you say?
I can. I'm very happy to say it. So we finished up it's all black, a little bit of white. It's a 3-inch tool with a 5-ohm battery. So you'll get 2 batteries, and it's 3 inches. And my goal was I wanted that all-purpose tool. Okay. So I like to sand. I'm a big sand guy. So you can sand with it. It's a 12 millimeter. So you'll be able to just, knock out dirt nibs or whatever, or sand a smaller section like this. But then we also have carpet brushes attachments.
Okay.
So it's a handheld 12 millimeter carpet brush attachment, a 3-inch pad. So now if you want to scrub your leather, I don't know about you, but I got tired of going like this for years, I just want to put a machine on and let it scrub it. So we're gonna have attachments for scrubbing leather. Sandpaper, I'm gonna let that up to whatever somebody wants to use. We could release sandpaper, but that's not our goal. Our goal is mainly machines and equipment and things like that. And then we'll have a full lineup of 3-inch pads as well. And then we're gonna looking into pressure washers. I'm working on a pressure washer now. We'll get into air compressors, pressure washers, power drills, hand tools. So
Okay.
BarJack, if you look at it, and it says BarJack tools. It doesn't say BarJack detailing tools. It says BarJack tools. The
Okay.
reason being is BarJack is not gonna be just in the detailing industry by the end of next year. BarJack will be drills, you name it, hand sanders, hand DAs. I really want to do a DA movement machine, but cordless, a powered DA that actually runs and works and does what it's supposed to do. A lot of things like that. And a lot of it we're going to listen to what our customers demand, what they want in the detailing side. But once we branch out, we have plans to be in Home Depot, Lowe's, things like that for the factory tools, but not for the detailing tools. The detailing tools, we're going to keep all through distribution and on a website.
Detailing is such a niche still a lot of times, where it's not to that full-blown big box store market, except for some of the, like chemicals and stuff. But,
but we're getting there. And it's, we're only, the brand's been around 2 years, which is crazy because it took us 2 years to put this together. A lot of research, a lot of time, a lot of, just so much involved that I wanted to make sure it was right. I didn't want to release without being right. And then when we got all the tools, I was like, okay, now I got tools. Now I got to sell these things, you know what I mean?
That's
and I've been very blessed, We've had some really good numbers. The tools are out there. People are finally starting to buy them now, just, you know, randomly, instead of saying, hey, let me show you the tool. And now it's starting to come in organic. We're getting distributors in. Right now, you'll be the 3rd distributor, which is really cool. We have no straight shooting everybody. You'll hear it from me. So if Jason says I can't discount it more, that's because I told them not to.
There's rules.
There's rules, yeah. 10% is the max discount. We understand Black Friday and things like that.
Right.
You know, so Black Friday on our website, we might do a 20% discount.
Yeah.
But you will know when we're doing a discount, so you can match that discount. Cool. You see what I'm saying? That's one of the things that we really wanted to. BarJack was about relationships at the end of the day, for me. It's getting out there, having fun, meeting people, offering a quality tool, and just to kind of give them back, like you. Like, this industry's been good to you. I know it has been.
Yeah.
It's been good to me.
Yeah.
And we try to give back, free trainings, whatever. But you know, that's what this was about for me.
No, I like this, man. I've followed you for most of your career. I know where you came from with, you know, auction detailing and everything like that. I know the grind that goes into it.
Yeah.
I've been testing this machine for the last week. I've used it on a couple cars, not extensive testing, but it's a great machine, man. It works really well. It does what it says, and it is. It feels like a high quality, tough machine.
I hope it does.
And that's what you went for, and it definitely feels that when you're holding it. It doesn't feel cheap or chintzy, like it's about to start on fire or anything.
No, it won't.
No.
It's in our manufacturing facility is huge, very big. You're talking a team of almost 700 people. To give you an idea, I only know 3 of them so far, but I'm going to go overseas to get to meet them all and check it out really closely. But we're coming strong and we're coming hard.
Yeah.
And it will be a big name. You're not going to see us at SEMA this year, but you'll see us at Mobile Tech next year.
Okay.
Reason being, why I wanted to personally pull out of SEMA this year, just to kind of go. My wife is finally, we're at the point in my life where my kid graduates and he's moving out to South Dakota.
Nice.
So he's actually become a ranch handler.
Okay.
I'm like, how in the heck did that happen? You know, I got a kid, I wanted to detail. I mean, the kid could have a shop tomorrow.
Yeah.
But that was hard for me. He had to chase his dream.
Yeah.
I couldn't let him chase my dream for him, if that makes sense. So he's moving out to South Dakota, and my wife and I, she finally gets to come to an event for the first time after all these years. So we're just going to go to SEMA and relax. Enjoy the show, but you'll see us at Mobile Tech really strong next year. But yeah, I mean, can I see your machine?
Yeah.
Now, Jason, I gave this to you to try.
Yep.
I will not deny that or hide that. And if we break this machine, okay, I'm going to replace it with this one.
Okay.
Okay. But look, turn that.
We're gonna drop it.
Turn that camera this way. How high is this bag? 10 feet?
Yeah, I think it's 10 feet.
10, 12 feet?
You want a ladder?
Nah, we're good. So just to show you, okay?
Okay. It was working.
You ready? I'm gonna toss this straight up and down. Now people are gonna say it hits plastic. We're a 1/4 inch plastic on top of some hard concrete.
Yeah.
At the end of that, you ready?
Here you go.
Come here. Oh, whoop, hold on. We had to bend the trigger there. But this is real world testing. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's the confidence that I have. But so now you guys get to see, well, I'm gonna leave this one for you so you have a clean one. I'll take this one with, because I hate to do that. But sometimes you just gotta show, being real. I don't know how high I got there, but I tried to give it a good toss.
All right, you get the point there.
Yeah.
Well, man, I wish you luck with the brand. I'm here to support you. I know how hard you worked in this industry and how well deserved this is to go out on a limb like this and risk yet another adventure, another brand, and build it. So, man.
Dude, we don't stop, man. You know how it is.
I'm here to support you.
Thank you,
I
man.
like the
appreciate
machine. You can find them on carsupplieswarehouse.com. So thank you. And excited to see a lot of the other stuff that you come out with too, man.
You're cool. And listen, some of that stuff I may send out to you and say, Jason, we have a unit. Play with it.
Nice.
You know, because I don't know the forced rotation machines.
Yeah.
I was just never a fan personally.
Right.
You know what I mean? I was a rotary DA guy. So we're also releasing a forced rotation here real soon.
Yeah.
That will be affordable. That's the big
awesome.
one. Right now, though, the problem I have is I want it to go clockwise, not counterclockwise.
Okay.
And we're getting close to making that happen.
That's awesome.
So we'll see.
All right.
Cool.
Well, thank you for watching, and go check out the machines.
Thank you. Thanks, brother.